This is a story reflecting bad on a college basketball coach who I think everybody likes and respects because he looks like a character. He looks like he would play the senator in a movie. Bo Ryan, head coach at Wisconsin, he has denied the right of one of his players, a guy who was a freshman this year, named Jarrod Uthoff, or perhaps Uthoff. And so...
It's Uthoff.
It's Uthoff?
Uthoff.
Uthoff.
No, Uthoff.
Uthoff.
Yes.
Okay.
All
right. Jarrod Uthoff, he's transferring, and Bo Ryan is restricting Uthoff from transferring to any Big Ten school, any ACC school, and then just to be petty and mean, has added Iowa State and Marquette as other schools that he can't.
And I believe he added Florida.
I think he feels that one of those schools, I think North Carolina State, got in and infringed and tried to entice Uthoff to transfer. So Bo Ryan goes on the Mike and Mike show, Mike Golick and Mike Greenberg on ESPN, and they do a great job with him. They point out, among other things, that...
Which we cannot show, by the way, because of copyright.
We can't show it, but here's essentially what they said. Greenberg and Golick point out that, as Bo Ryan says, hey, look, man, if you have a job, you got a contract, there are penalties if you leave. And they point out correctly that, hey, yeah, but you've signed a contract, you're getting compensated, so there are penalties. These kids aren't getting compensated. And Bo Ryan says, I understand this is a scholarship. When they sign the scholarship, there's fine print that is very readable. If you played, you would at least understand what I'm talking about.
Worst argument.
He says to Mike Greenberg, if you played, like you didn't play, so you don't understand what a scholarship is. Bo Ryan, man, boy, he looks terrible in this. Years and years and decades of coaches have done the same thing way before me. You're not going after them. No, we would. If a coach banned a player from going, if we knew about it, we'd go after them too. Then Golick, God bless him, says, I suspect with a lot of attitude, says, it's also interesting the basketball and football coaches can sign a 7-year extension and then the next year leave for one of those schools you blocked the kid from going to. The coach can leave, and Bo Ryan says, I know that's the easy way to go. Here's the thing, I didn't create the market.
That's like...
it's just he's got no answer for that.
That's like Calipari saying I didn't write the rules.
Yeah, look, man, if you transfer, he's got to sit out a year. There's a penalty for that. So schools don't go, we understand why you can't transfer right away, so schools don't come and raid other schools and take the talent away. But you got to sit out a year, and they got to let this kid go. That's all there is to it, man. It doesn't work. Kids leave college sometimes, go to another school. He's got to sit out a year. That's the penalty.
And he's already a redshirt freshman.
Yeah, you can't keep this kid from going to 25 other schools, Bo Ryan. You look bad. You know why you look bad? Because you're doing a bad thing.
I mean, I'm trying to think about it. Like, do I understand that he doesn't want him going to like an Ohio State or a Michigan? Out of anything, it would beef up the rivalry, and ESPN would love it. But overall, I mean, what's the point in not allowing him to play with other high school teammates, by the way, who went to Iowa State or who have gone to ACC schools?
The point is to discourage transferring, to make it hard, to make it so that that scholarship athletes at one school don't get approached by assistant coaches at other schools and encouraged to transfer. So you make it difficult, and the coaches who they're going to come into contact most of all, of course, are the coaches inside the conference. But look, man, he's got to sit out a year. He's following the rules. You got to let him go. Sometimes kids don't work out at a certain college, and you got to let them go.
But when do we get to the point where it's like, okay, these kids, firstly, they're not getting, which I mean, I'm still on the fence about, but firstly, these kids are not getting paid. They put butts in the seats. I mean, the coach does that as well. But when do we get to the point where we give them like a little bit of rights and a little bit of say of what they have and where they could go, et cetera?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think we probably ought to look at paying them. We got to re-examine this whole process. The transfer rule is good. You can't transfer. You got to sit out a year when you transfer. Otherwise, essentially, these kids would be free agents and it'd be open market on them, and we can't have that. But when they're prepared to sit out the year, a coach like Bo Ryan, it's happening at other schools too. About this, Bo Ryan is right. He's not the only one, but he's putting unreasonable restrictions on this kid. You want to restrict a few schools, you want to restrict the conference, we might give him a pass.
Are you okay with that?
Not really, but I don't think we'd be making a big fuss. But when you restrict 2 conferences and 25 schools and something like, 43% of the Power 6 conferences, that's...
Should the NCAA put a limit on, you know what, you can't go to 5 schools, or you can't go to just your conference, but you could let them go to other conferences?
There might be something there. Basically, most kids let their guys just go. Sometimes you can't go in the conference. I'll give them the conference.